Good afternoon and welcome to Rubbin Minds. My name is Isabella Adediji. Now, defection today, defection tomorrow, rising cost of living. Are we sliding into a one-party state? 2027 is almost here, and these are some of the questions Nigerians are asking. There's a new boss in town, a new INEC chairman, and Nigerians are wondering, will their votes count this time come 2027? Now, to discuss these issues, I have with me an author and public analyst, Abdulrahman Olakunle. Welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Welcome. Thank you for having me here.
Now, we'll go straight into the conversation. I'm sure you've been seeing the wave of defections, and it almost begs the question, are politicians guided by political ideologies of the parties they join, or is this just the survival and I just want to guarantee my seat come 2027?
Thank you so much. Thank you for asking that question. It's a question that many people have been asking. And one of the things that I think is happening is that the wave of defection that is happening is something that is worrisome, and many people are already scared to say that, are we in a one state, one political system? And that's, for those who don't understand what that means, it means that we're going to be in a place where there's going to be a little bit of kind of tyranny, where the political power and system will just be about maintaining power, not about delivering services and their promises. So what we need to look into, for example, the PDP that we have that are being in power for 16 good years, seeing their stakeholders, the founding fathers, already defecting, going to other political parties, that is worrisome. So with that, we won't have that balance, that check and balance that is supposed to happen in our polity. But we believe that if they all come back together and restructure themselves, build their ideologies, and see that, okay, what this is going to be, not just an access card for them to just get power, but something that is a platform that is going to be for reform and policy that is going to affect ordinary people. So I think with that, yes, we are good to go.
So you mentioned the PDP, but there are several other political parties that form the opposition. How would you rate the opposition and what they are doing in light of the rising cost of living, the harsh economic realities? Surely one would think that at a time like this, the opposition's voice would be strongest. And even if we see governors from the PDP defecting, what about other political parties?
Okay, all the political parties that we have, for example, we have the Labour Party, who part of their strongest person also is already in line with, in talks with the ADC. So with that, people are not people don't know where to go. They don't know if they should stick with the Labour Party or go to the ADC. Now, that brings us back to, who are we going to hold as the opposition, the voice that people are going to believe that, okay, if the ruling party is saying this, the opposition that is supposed to tackle them, to put them in check, for them to know that, okay, we can't do this because the opposition are going to come after us. Because the country that we are emulating, America, they have the Republican and the Democrat. And over there, it's hard for you to hear that a Republican is coming to become a Democrat, and a Democrat is becoming a Republican. So if we can, as Africa, as Nigerians, have a political system that's going to be so solid and strong, just as the APC were when they were the opposition, when they were there fighting the Jonathan administration, when fuel price just increased a little bit, they had a protest and everything. And the current President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, when he was there during the Nadeko season, he was there fighting the tyrannical system of government that we have, then did everything to make sure that we bring democracy. And now we have democracy, and democracy is begging to come back to life and having that system where we will know that, okay, we have choices to choose rather than just one person that is favorable. So I think with that, we're good to go.
I like the line you use, that democracy means we have choices, we have free will. So what if the politicians, the governors, the people who are defecting are just exercising their free will and moving to a party they now have a belief in? Does it still affect our democracy? Can we say democracy is free choice, and then when people all choose to go one way, we then say, no, this is not democracy because it's now sliding into a one-party state? Okay,
so another thing I would like to call our attention to, I want us to note that we are not currently in a one political party system. What we have is a one political party dominance. That's what we have. So that's the difference. So one political dominance means that one political party, their ideology, their structure is also solid and appealing to every other politician that is in whatever camp that is wanting to join them. So that dominance is where that problem is. The dominance is good. A political party, everybody is building a political party structure for them to be able to dominate the other. But what we want is that the other wants to should have that say, that power, that vigor, that strong foundation, that structure that we can say that, yes, we believe we want to choose from the two sides. Not just looking at, okay, this is the only one that have structure. PDP that we should have gone with doesn't have a structure. Labour Party, we already have the presidential candidates already with ADC, and we don't know where to stand. So what we have, like I said, is still one political dominance, not really one political system that we have. So that realignment is what we are looking for, and we believe that if other people do their homework well, they should be able to come out and we should have a level playing field.
So this dominance, let's say we have 90% domination. The 10% that are left to do the opposition, to do the checks and the balances, to stand on the side of the people and question some of the things going on. What should they be doing now? 2027 is very close. What kind of move should we be seeing from the opposition?
Okay, so one thing that we would encourage the opposition to do is for them to go back to the drawing board. Now they still have time. They have 2026 to work with. So go back to the drawing board, see what is wrong with their system. What is that thing that is making people to leave us? What is that thing that we need to do to build back the trust of the people? Because we, the ordinary citizens, we are the people at their mercy. We are the people that are going to be affected most. Because many of them, even if we like it or not, they are all comfortable in their own way. We, the ordinary people, are the people that is going to, our school fees is going to affect our cost of living, our transportation and everything. So we are the ones that is begging them for them to go back to the drawing board. Go back to the drawing board, see how they can reform all those things and take back their glory. If they can have that, have a strong power and will to have a voice. If we trust them enough, we can see and consider them. But if they are still in this disarray of fighting themselves and not having a particular structure, believe you me, I'm scared of the future. I'm scared of what is going to happen, because if you have a political system, a political party that have like 26, 27 states under their control, and the other parties are just having dissenting voice, not a structured one voice that we can count on, definitely we are going to have a problem. So let them go back to the drawing board, see where they can meet, see where they can agree on, and let's have a level playing field where we will have the free will to choose.
I feel like when we point at, in this case, the opposition, we still are pointing at ourselves. And that brings me to the question of the office of the citizen. Why are we putting that responsibility on an opposition that is quite busy in cross-carpeting and moving from one political party to the other to serve their interests? Why can't we, the people, organize ourselves and make our voices heard and come together? If we need to form new parties, if we need to enter the dominant party and change things from within, why are we not taking the conversation to the citizen? Thank you so much for that question. Now, that question brings us to where we are right now, which are the youths. So the youths have their voices, we have social media, which is playing huge parts in our polity. With social media right now, you can say anything, you can bring people together. For example, very dark man, he can do so many things with the social media. And the youths that we have right now, we are at a crossroad. We don't know where to go. The youth, majority of the youths are looking at these people as their mentors, people that they believe that these are the people that can rescue us. We are not seeing ourselves as people that can do it. If we see ourselves, we should have a one party that the youth can say that, okay, this is for the youth, this is our ideology, this is our philosophy, this is our understanding about the problems of Nigeria, this is how we want to solve it. But we don't have that yet. We are still looking at all these old politicians that have ruled before or are still ruling to change things for us. So when we agree, because I believe that the youth, when they come together, during the time we have Fela Duro-Toye, we have Kingsley Moghalu, and we have other people that try to, like, okay, we are youths in a certain way. We still see how they had disagreements and how everything disintegrated, and we couldn't have a common ground to choose. So the youth, we need to decide, are we still going to follow that path, or are we going to
change things within ourselves. So because I believe that the change begins with us, with an individual.
And that's a huge responsibility for every young person, because politics affects everyone, whether you choose to vote or not vote. Now, we've seen voter apathy play out at the polls. What's the guarantee that with a new INEC chairman that things will change, that people will go and put their mouth and their thumbprint where their minds are? What can INEC do to rebuild that trust, that people believe that indeed, even if they have a candidate from an opposition party, that if they vote for that person, that it will matter and it will count?
Okay, so we have a new sheriff in town. We have a new INEC chairman, Josh Ojo Adipiton. Is somebody that is a legal scholar. He is an academic, so we expect that he's going to bring that legal scholarly expertise into our structure. And he has made a few promises. He has said that he's going to check the technology, he's going to review some policies, he's going to bring good services. Because the last election, what we had low trust on the system as a whole, because we had three core things that happened: late delivery of materials, we have the malfunction of the technology, and the other one is the delivering of the result. So these three things, I believe, are the key things that Nigerians are looking out for. Like, these three things, are they going to be checked? Are we going to see a different dynamics to it? Are we going to see a system that is going to transmit results without any hassle? The technology, are they going to function well? If he can do this, I believe that with his antecedents and his profile, he has a very, very promising profile. And the promises he made to us, yes, those are the key things that we want to see. If he can do that, I believe that it's going to come out to be one of the best INEC chairmen in the history of Nigeria democracy. So I believe that he can do that if he keeps to the promises. But credibility is not built on promises, it's built on delivery and the fulfillment of those things. So if he can do it, yes, we are still hoping. So next year is here. Let's see the sensitization, the processes, how he's going to carry the citizens along in how he's going to go about these things. Let him show us. Once we see those things, believe me, Nigerians are going to trust him and we'll be able to come out all out for the next election.
I think next year is even too far. Nigerians start looking at things like the first 30 days, the first 100 days, what decisive actions are being taken. What does this INEC chairman need to do beyond the promises, beyond the rhetoric, to instill that public trust in Nigerians, that right from now in October 2025, that people are gingered, they are charged, they believe that indeed they can use their thumb to make a decision on what affects them politically? So
what I think that he's doing currently, he's studying the whole process, because the last local government election in Lagos, I'm a Lagosian, I'm from Lagos Island, the Ali Balubu family. So the last election, the local government election, we saw a low turnout, and that shows that it's not all about political apathy. It's about people lacking trust in the system. So with that, it means that everybody, they just keep their fingers crossed and they are waiting to see what he's going to do. And I believe that if he is going to bring his experience, his wealth of experience, because he has worked in the committee that reviewed the BVAS and RF and everything. So I believe that with that, he should understand that right now, our trust is so low that we don't even want to believe anything anybody tells us again. So if he can come out and carries us along, sensitize the youth, sensitize everybody, this is what it's going to be, this is what I'm going to bring, this is how it's going to work. Let us know, not that we'll go to the polling units, that's where we'll now be having the understanding of how the thing wants to work. Let all these things comes out. How's the budget? The transparency also needs to be known. We need to be transparent. He needs to be transparent for us to trust him, because if transparency is not there, we don't understand the procurement, the technology, everything, it's still going to be low. But if he's transparent enough, opens up to the youth, to the public, to the general public, I believe that, yes, he's going to do very, very well, I believe.
And as we bring this conversation to a close, we must touch on the rising cost of living, the hardship, the economic realities that Nigerians have been experiencing for, say, the past 2 years. How much of a force or how much of momentum will that bring in shaping who ends up leading us? Will that be a factor? Will Nigerians vote based on their stomachs being empty or full?
Okay, there are two things involved. So one is we can look at it from this angle that, oh, people are hungry. During the election, they're going to give them 5,000, 10,000 naira, and they'll choose anybody that gives them money, and one day we can rise and that's all. We can also look at it from this other angle where hunger pushes people for people to take politics as a survival institution, not just about, okay, anybody wins. No, the hunger that I felt for the past 2 years or 3 years or 4 years, now I'm going to be very, very keen on this process and see who is going to be. It can be the positive side that people will not come out in droves and say that, okay, the hunger that I felt throughout these years is not one thing that is going to make me to pay attention. Now I am hungry. Now this is the election is coming. I need to be careful about who's going to rule me for the next 4 years if I don't want to go hungry again. So with that, it's going to be on the positive side, I believe. With everything that we have faced, we will need somebody that's going to be stable, that's going to bring things down and make the hardship lesser. According to Board, we need to say this, the current president, the reforms, yes, on papers are very, very good. He has done so many things that people feel that, okay, yes, this is the right processes to bring back the economy to a stable sound.
To jump in there, thank you so much, Abdurrahman Olakule. And only time will tell how people will actually vote based on hunger.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you, Ma.
We're going on a quick break on Rubbin Minds. Don't go anywhere.
Now it's time to show
Welcome back to Rubbin Minds. Now, for the longest time, issues around women's health has been underreported. How did you see programs on TV, on radio, online, talking about issues that affect women directly, women's health, whether it's endometriosis or it's cervical cancer, it's even as little or as small as you would think. People's understanding around how a woman's body functions, from menstrual period to menopause to pregnancy to delivery, to how hormones play such a huge role in a woman's body. The issues of women's health continues to remain underreported, but BBNaija has always been a strong advocate for women's health, and they currently have a campaign which is stopping HPV. HPV stands for human papilloma virus, and the aim is to get as many people aware about the impact HPV has and how it can lead to cervical cancer. But if there's knowledge, then prevention can happen, and not just treatment and management. To discuss this issue, I have with me a doctor, a social impact strategist, someone who has used storytelling to communicate very tough, hard to understand issues in a very entertaining manner. She brings health and entertainment together, and you can guess, she is Dr. Kelechi Okoro, health Taylor.
Drum rolls.
Welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Thank you so much for having me. You look beautiful.
Oh, thank you. And you look stunning too.
Thank you very much.
When we think about women's health, why do you think there's little money that goes to research, first of all? Then we can now see the media and that focus. Growing up in the 90s, we saw how much HIV and AIDS were in our faces. But how can we say the same thing for cervical cancer or for endometriosis or even menstrual periods?
So if you ask me, you're asking me directly, right? I'll say that there aren't enough women sitting at tables where these decisions are made. And if we're not speaking for ourselves, then we don't have enough people speaking for us, okay? So there's been a lot of research going into other areas, but women's health, especially sexual and reproductive health, not a lot of research is going into that area, because first of all, even as a doctor, the things that I learned about, the things that I know right now about menopause, about menstrual hygiene, about menstruation, were my personal experiences and experiences from community members. So there hasn't been a lot of talk. Our voices haven't been loud enough when it comes to, women's health, when it comes to issues like this. There's stigmatization. There is just, people just not talking about it anymore. But these days, we're here, BBNaija's brought us here to talk about the Stop HPV for Her, and it's a campaign that is ongoing. So more talk, more awareness, more effort put on policy making to back these things up, to create interventions that suit the woman. And of course, yeah, things are going to get better going from here.
So hashtag stop HPV for her. First of all, human papilloma virus. What's that for the layperson out there watching? And why is it so important for BBNaija to support this campaign? Why now? Why human papilloma virus? And what's its relation to cervical cancer?
Okay, so this conversation is very important because HPV causes cervical cancer, and cervical cancer is like the second leading cause of deaths, leading cause of cancer deaths amongst women. Okay, and about 12,000 women will be diagnosed in a year. Guess how many of those that number dies? 8,000. The number is not numbering at all. Okay, and this HPV. It is something that can be preventable. Almost 100% preventable with the HPV vaccine. So why are women dying from something that they can prevent with just one shot? That's why this conversation is very important. We can't have our Nigerian women, African women dying because of something that could have been prevented before exposure to the HPV. Okay, with early testing, with early detection. So why are women dying from it? And that's why this conversation is very important, because we can actually do something about it. And then these numbers need to drop drastically, because women are a very important part of building this nation. Okay, right or right?
Yeah,
exactly.
Right.
So if we do not take our women's health seriously, then the nation is going to decline economically, health-wise. So it is very important that we're having this conversation at this time. This conversation, this intervention by Stop HPV for Her, this should have been yesterday. This should have been 20 years ago. This should have been 10 years ago. But we're having it now, and it is very important that we're having this discussion.
It's interesting because there's so much more information around, say, breast cancer, and then you're saying cervical cancer is the second cancer that kills women the most, and the chances of recovery are so slim, the numbers are so low. What is this government doing to address this issue, to make prevention the mantra that a parent, I have a daughter, that I know that once my daughter turns this age, she needs to take that HPV vaccine?
Okay, so in 2023, the government rolled out, vaccines for girls between the ages of 9 to 14. And why 9 to 14? Because we want to meet these girls. We want to, get this intervention in before they are exposed to the HPV virus that causes cervical cancer. Okay, so girls between the ages of 9 to 14, from 2023, have been getting free vaccination from primary healthcare centers around them. Okay, and of course, the vaccine is not just for girls. It is for women also, who have, even women above the ages of 20, but this time around they can, fuse it with the HPV testing, and also pap smear and HPV DNA testing. Okay, but the government has done this so that at that stage the immunity of the girls is still, strong enough to get that protection. You know how immunization works, to get that protection, so that when you eventually get exposed to this virus, then it will ward it off. The problem with cervical cancer or HPV infection is that when you get that infection, 1 to 2 years, your body can ward it off, right? However, if you get the high strain, which is the HPV 16 and 18, it can stay in your body for 10 years, 15 years, 20 years without any symptoms at all. And then when you get a diagnosis of cervical cancer, from then it could be death, okay? Because there are no symptoms. However, when the symptoms start, after 10, 15, 20 years, you can get symptoms like painful periods, bleeding in between periods, having bloody vaginal discharge. But at that time, it's already far gone, okay? And that's why it's very important that the government has in fact, they have even added it into the national, immunization scheme. 9 to 14 girls should get this vaccine. And I like the fact that you talked about you being the mother and being here and having this information, because some of these girls are not going to watch this, okay? So it is left for the women listening to this, watching this, to make sure that these girls are taken to the
primary healthcare
centers to get it. You can also get it in private facilities. However, the price,
at a cost.
Yeah, exactly.
Now, for older women who are probably watching this and they never took the vaccine between 9 and 14, what hope is there for them? What should they be doing? Should they run now to their doctor and get tested? And if they do find out that the human papilloma virus is in them, what's the next line of treatment or line of action?
Okay, so for those who haven't gotten the vaccine, they still have hope. Okay, but first of all, they need to go get a pap smear done. It is a test where the doctor looks into your vagina, gets a sample, gets all the way to the cervix. The cervix is the neck of the womb. Looks into there and gets a sample of the cells in your cervix to see if they are pre-cancerous changes, and if they aren't, you can get the vaccine. Okay, so from 21 to 30 years old, you can get your pap smear done, and if it's negative, every 3 years. And then also you can get the pap smear done and then also add the HPV DNA test or the VIA test. So there's hope for these women. Remember that there are different strains of HPV, right? The high strain is the 16 and the 18. You might have been exposed to other strains. However, you have not been exposed to 16 and 18. So you can still take the vaccine later, even after exposure to any other HPV strain that you have gotten. Because remember, HPV is very, very common. Okay?
How are people exposed to it?
It's just by intimate skin-to-skin contact. Okay, it's not a moral issue. It's not. It's just something that is very common. It's just like a cold. At least 1 in 4 women have come in contact with HPV at every point in their life, and this is not just a woman issue. It is a woman issue, it is a man issue, because men also have, the HPV virus, okay?
Does it do anything to them?
Yes, men do not have cervixes, so it can give them anal cancers, mouth cancers, penile cancers, and then it can have skin warts, genital warts, okay? But it is not as serious as cervical cancer. I've seen women doing practice. I've seen women who, from the moment they're diagnosed, they just spiral down. So why can't we just reduce the numbers of deaths from, cervical cancer or from HPV infections just by having our women vaccinated, having our girls vaccinated, and then making sure that at the appropriate ages we're getting our pap smears done. At least if you get early screening, okay, you check for the cells and they're precancerous, you can remove them. There are simple in-clinic procedures where you can, get rid of all those precancerous cells, and then eventually it doesn't get to cervical cancer.
And for the men, what can they do, or what should they be doing? How can they be a part of this BBNaija Stop HPV for Her campaign? Okay,
so very well, awareness first of all. They need to be aware that this is not just a woman issue, it's also a male issue. They also need to get, tested for HPV, right?
So men should get tested?
Yes, they can get tested for HPV, and then they can also get the vaccine, but it's not going to cost. Right now we're prioritizing, of course, we know cost restraints, poor funding, so we're concentrating on the girls between 9 to 14 because they have a higher chance. Okay, we are catching them young. They haven't gotten exposure to the HPV, to the human papilloma virus, so we're prioritizing them. However, the men can get the vaccine, the boys can get the vaccine, and they can create awareness about this. They can talk to the women and girls in their lives. They can join the Stop HPV for Her campaign by BBNaija. We have He for Her. Okay, women should not be just the ones advocating for women's health, because men, we are a community. We have mothers, men have mothers, sisters, lovers, friends, wards, so they should be actively involved in this. So through awareness, sharing this message, joining the Stop HPV for Her campaign by BBNaija, and then also carrying those girls, carrying their women, making sure that they get vaccinated, making sure that they benefit from this free vaccination already going on. It's free. The best you can do is to just walk in and get it, and then you can figure out how to pay for yours later.
And why is this such an important topic to you as the health attainer? Why are you such a strong advocate for this? And how have you been able to use storytelling to raise awareness?
It's important to me because it makes my work easier, right? I started my brand out of frustration when I was practicing, when I was training in medical school. I saw that huge gap between patient care, patient education, and treatment. A lot of patients come to the clinic, they are treated, but they do not have information, relatable information about what they have come for. For example, a patient comes in with ulcer symptoms, you treat, and then the patient still comes back the next 2 weeks or a week after with the same symptoms because you have not had time to explain in relatable and easy language. Okay, this is the reason why you're first your own doctor before you get to the hospital. Okay, this is why you're having it. You have to do this and you have to do that. So that frustration made me want to do this, right? And then using my platform, making it easy, looking like one of you.
Beautiful, stunning.
Exactly, thank you. It just makes it easier to improve health literacy amongst Nigerians and even beyond, and then just break down the medical jargons, and the patient is able to understand. 1 + 1 is equal to 2. If you don't do this, this will happen to you. If you do this, and then it just reduces the burden on curative medicine. Because when you have effective preventive, medicine strategies, then the doctors in the clinic have more time, to do their work. And of course, you drive more people into the clinic because now they are more aware of their bodies. They are more aware that this is the reason I'm feeling this way, and I have to see a doctor. Okay, so storytelling helps. People love to people don't like that fear mongering, they're not afraid. They're now equipped with enough information. Information is power. Now I know, then I can walk comfortably into the hospital and say, this is how I feel, and I wouldn't feel, because sometimes patients judge themselves first of all before even getting to the hospital. But you know that, oh, this is normal from the way we've told the stories, from the way BBNaija has started this. In fact, when I go to BBNaija's page, I just keep seeing a lot of information about HPV, cervical cancer, and then it just becomes like a normal conversation. And then this is a normal conversation. You can just walk into any primary healthcare center and nobody's looking at you and say, oh, what is this person going into this place to do? It is health. Health is, should be accessible, and then it should be enjoyed by everyone.
Well, I want to say thank you for the good work you're doing. I'll be taking that line away, that you're first your own doctor, so the responsibility is on us to get information, and thank you for making that information accessible through storytelling. Thank you, Dr. Kelechi Okoro, and we wish you all the best with the BBNaija Stop HB for Her campaign.
Thank you very much for having me.
And please do get your girls tested between the ages of 9 and 14. It's free at all primary healthcare centers across Nigeria. And to follow the conversation, just check hashtag Stop HBV for Her by BBNaija. Stay with us as we go on a quick break. Well, Big Brother Naija season 10, 10 over 10 might be over, but there are some personalities that won the hearts of millions of Nigerians. And one of such is someone who has confessed himself to be the Kakop king because of his charm, his effortless style, and what a lot of viewers loved in his delivery and his time in the Big Brother Naija house was that bond he had with Imisi. And he's here to share what life was before, during, and after the Big Brother Naija house. I'm sure you can guess who we have on the show. It's Kola Omotoso. Welcome to Rubbin Minds.
Thank you so much, Isabella. I really appreciate it. Thank you for having me too as well.
The Kakop king.
Yes, so.
You cacked up. Where is the filler? This cacking up, or is it the Agbada?
I said, let me, be humble to come here.
You're doing humility with the steez and the composure.
Just taking it easy. Just taking it easy, Isabella.
Has style always been something that naturally came to you, or was it a strategy going into the house?
Style has always been that's always been my thing right from when I was a child. My dad was someone who I loved his style. My dad is a very sophisticated man. He always wore beautiful, amazing suits, paired them with the most amazing ties, with a very, shoes, everything decked before he goes to work. So I always, I loved that about him. And growing up, I always wanted to, exude that type of style too as well. Very confident, very sophisticated, very classy. So that was what I was going for. But I would say going into the house, I was very intentional about the type of what I wanted to be known for going into the house. I would say that even if I left the second week, I wanted people to remember me and say, oh, he had a great style, or he was one of the most fashionable guys that graced Big Brother's house. So that was one of the things that I clamored for, I really wanted, and I'm happy that even the Kakop King thing, I'm grateful that it was something that stuck with people, and I'm excited for what is in store for me with that.
So you wanted people to know that, I can buff up, or I get style. was that also something you wanted the ladies to get into? Was that like an attraction strategy for you?
Funny enough, it's a me thing. I believe that when you look good, you feel good. So times when I don't even feel good, when I dress up, it makes me feel better, you know, because a lot of times your appearance speaks for itself, you know, how you put yourself together speaks for you. So for me, it was something that I don't even do it for anybody, I do it for myself. It makes me happy, and I think that is the beauty of it all, because if it's something that you're not enjoying, then you find yourself struggling with it. But the fact that I actually enjoy it, I find joy in making sure that I look good, I think that was what it was for me.
And what was it like being under surveillance, still being yourself, managing all the different personalities, and still differentiating yourself from the pack in the house? Do you feel that watching past seasons prepared you enough, or when you got there was a totally different ballgame?
So I would say, funny enough, watching past seasons, I probably would only just watch the entrance, the finale, and maybe eviction Sundays here and there. But I didn't know that we had like all those wagers, we had like arena games and things like that in between. So I would say that I knew where I was coming from. My dad always told me something growing up, right from when I was a child. If you know, like, I should always remember where I'm coming from. So once I always remembered where I was coming from, I knew where I was going to. Because once you don't know where you're coming from, there's no way you will know where you're going to. So that was something that, regardless of what happened in the house, regardless of the dynamic, regardless of how things could have played itself, I always remembered where I was coming from. So that kept me really grounded. That really made me remember that, you know, that you have to, you know, you have to remember that you know where you're coming from, so that you do not mess up yourself and you don't put yourself in jeopardy. And I wanted to make my parents proud, and that was all that mattered to me.
I mean, you're someone who was not afraid to lean into your emotions, to wear your heart on your sleeve. When you cast your mind to some of those emotional high points, down points, what would you say was responsible for that? Was it the seclusion, or was it the mix of people, or just the gravity of what was at stake?
I would say that for me personally, like all my friends know, I wear my emotions on my sleeves. That was why one thing I like that my friends and family told me, that I stayed true to myself till the end. I've always worn my emotions on my sleeve, so it's a me thing. And I grew up in a family where, you know, you expressing yourself and your emotions are valid, your feelings are valid. It makes all of us feel very comfortable with our emotions. It makes us feel very secure with how we feel about certain things. So going into the house, it wasn't even about the housemates. It was just me being me. And I believe that going into the house, the best way you could play the game, or the best way, is you just being you, because you can't have a strategy or be somebody else for 3 months. It's your real self is going to come out eventually. So for me, it was more like me just being me, and I didn't care what anyone thought. I didn't care about any stereotype. I believe that I'm very confident with who I am. I'm very confident in what I stand for. So my vulnerability, my emotions was not something that I found as a weakness. I saw it as my strength, because for me to be able to come on national TV and wear it all out without feeling the sense or feeling the need to, you know, do tough man or hard guy or whatever. I feel like that was it, and I'm happy, and I hope that a lot of people out there feel very much comfortable with their emotions, and they don't need to feel like it's a weakness for them.
And you don't think at any point that maybe if I held myself back, maybe if I showed a bit of restraint, maybe if I didn't put my whole self out there, after all, it's a game, perhaps I would have gone all the way to the very end?
I was a top 5. I believe that God has a reason for everything. I would say that it was something for me where if I did it in a way whereby it wasn't something that didn't resonate with me, and it wasn't something that was true to me, I feel like I wouldn't be happy with it. So I think the most important thing for me was I went on that show. I was me. Anyone that knew me on that show before the show would know this was Kola. like I am a very selfless person. I'm a very kind person. I care about people. I'm a social butterfly. I'm all of those things. So me being me on the show was, I think Big Brother said something on my last diary session, and he said to me, and I will always take that for the rest of my life. He said, the way you came on the show, you never changed, and you were who you are, and you're leaving the same way. I think that was the most beautiful thing he could have said to me, and I hold that very dear to me.
You know, when you're with people that you eventually feel comfortable with, you begin to share secrets, you begin to share personal experiences that are not just yours, but maybe family members, things that are seen as, let's not wash our dirty linen in public. But then there are cameras that are picking that up. Despite your revelations of certain things regarding family members, has that in any way affected your relationship with the people? And have you gotten any backlash from them, like, even if you're putting yourself out, must you also join and put us out too? Must they know about this, our family name, remember where you came from? Do you think, looking back now, you should have held back certain private information?
I do agree with you with certain things. I'm human at the end of the day. I'm not perfect. For the most part, I kept my family private. I kept most of the things about my family private. I would say that obviously there are times where, because you're in the house, and you know, sometimes all we do is talk and all. So sometimes maybe you could have blips here and there, and you know, it happens. You're human. But I would say for the most part, my family is amazing. My family is supportive. My family loves me to everything. Like, they love me so much. So, and I come from love. So it's not something that they will look at. They won't chastise me for it. It was more like, you know what? It is what it is. I take accountability for certain things, but at the same time too, I'm really like, I feel people don't really know me on that my family level, but people know me for who I am because I always wanted to put myself out there more. But in regards to that, I think it was never something that was a bad thing in that regard. I was being me, saying my own story, and I think my own story was what mattered.
So did you have to apologize or explain yourself, like, oh, I shouldn't have said that, but because there were cameras, I didn't know I got, you know,
not at all.
So no apology, was just love and
all love, because they don't expect you to be perfect. You know, they don't expect you to be 100%. You know, that's the part of you being human. So if everyone expected me to be perfect, then we are like, it's a bit deceiving then, because you two are not perfect. We're not all perfect. So I think when you realize that you're not perfect, it kind of gives you the opportunity to give people benefit of doubt, give people grace, and just understand that we're all human at the end of the day.
Let's talk friendships. Everybody went into the house for a reason, whether it's for fame, to win the money, to make a mark, whatever your reasons were for going into the house, how were you able to rise above them, to be so supportive, and to develop a very close friendship with, say, Imisi? Were you not scared at some point that it would impact your game, or was it also a strategy?
In a house like that, we're secluded. You know, all we do is have each other. And having somebody who cared for me very much, having somebody who I could rely on, having somebody who had my back, having somebody who rooted for me. You know, I never even thought of any other thing. But when you're in a house like that, all you need is somebody who sees you, somebody who understands you, somebody who sees your value as a person. And when you're in a space of so many personalities, so many characters, it's a difficult one if you don't have anybody to just adapt in such a place. You can't be an island of your own, if you get what I mean. So having somebody like her, I believe that God has a reason for everything, because I don't think it would have been an easy journey for me if I didn't have her. She always was somebody who rooted for me, who, when I'm doing my downtime, she was there for me. So just having that person who I knew genuinely cared for me. I had other people in the house who I knew cared for me, and I cared for them too as well. But this particular person really, I knew, deep down, I was like, this person, sometimes I ask myself, did I do anything extra to receive all this care? Because we just met ourselves 3 months ago. But I do believe in God does things in ways that he puts things together in the perfect way. So I'm really grateful for my friendship with her. I believe it's going to grow continuously. I believe that I'm happy that she was the winner, a deserving winner at that. She's a very talented person, and I'm really excited for what the world has in store for us.
You know, friendship. Do you see like the friend going into a ship? I mean, the bond growing. You said it's growing. You're getting it's stronger. It's no longer just a house thing. You're still friends.
Yeah.
It's going strong. Is that
I
some?
would say, not necessarily. It's always going to be platonic from us. I believe that she's always going to be my friend. I don't even call her my friend. I call her my sister, because you know, friends would always support themselves first or put themselves first. But seeing somebody who would put me first sometimes over her, because sometimes we will play sponsor tasks in the house and we will both be in different teams. And she would literally be supporting me, even in a different team. A friend wouldn't do that per se, even if the friend is rooting for you, because everybody wants themselves first. But to see somebody who was selfless enough, that is what my sister would do, and that's why I call her my sister. So it will always be on a friendship level. It will always be platonic, and I do appreciate what we have. And it's like an egg for me, whereby I'll always ensure that it's always going to remain the same way.
Oh, I mean, you're doing so well. You're so well spoken. I
Thank
mean,
you so much.
Are you coming to take my job? Is this what this is about?
No, I also, funny enough, that was one of the things I wanted to do, showcase myself as a TV host, because I really love to be a TV host too as well. And I'm hoping I hope to see or get opportunities in this space too as well. But thank you for the compliment. I really appreciate it.
And what next should we be expecting from you? Do you have any collaborations coming up with some of the housemates or projects of your own? How are you going to leverage the fame, the experience, the strong Big Brother Naija brand?
So I had a 9-to-5 before I came on the show. I was a senior software quality assurance analyst. And, you know, I was in IT. And on the side, I was a brand content creator, menswear and lifestyle. So I was doing that, working with international brands already, working with local brands like Nigerian brands already. And I wanted more exposure and more visibility. And this beautiful platform came my way. So right now, it's just for me to continue where I stopped and also venture into other aspects of me. The TV hosting and the radio hosting is something I really want to do so badly. I believe that I will really be good at it. I believe that is something that I've been clamoring for since I was a child. So aside my brand influencing, I also want to go into TV hosting, acting too as well. I realized that a lot of the viewers enjoyed my theatrics on the show and how I was able to. We did a nostalgic, or we had a week where it was all about nostalgia, and I played Ikemowo. They told us to dress like Ikemowo and embody his character, and I noticed that people loved it. So that's something that I also want to put myself in the forefront in regards to that. I'm a groom stylist too as well. I believe that when people go for weddings, the women take all the attention, and we need the men to take at least 2%. So I want to make the men look very sophisticated. So I want to style men for their weddings, and you know that's something I enjoy doing too as well. You know, be in the fashion space, and I just don't want to limit myself in the box. I want to really expand in so many ways, and you know, the sky is just my starting point.
Indeed, it's your starting point. You're already doing a great job.
Thank you so much.
By the
I
way.
appreciate it.
You're welcome. Let's talk friendships, male friendships in the house. Dede, Bright. Now that the lights are off and everyone is out of the house, are those friendships going strong? Are there other people you see yourself continuing in friendships or exploring, working together, partnerships, collaborations?
Yes, I'm open to all of that. I'm cool with everybody, funny enough. I'm cool with everybody. I'm okay with working with everybody. You know, when it comes to things like this, you have to put feelings on the side. But I have good friendships in the house. I created good friendships, not just Emisi alone, but other. I don't want to call names, but I miss some names. But I do have great friendships on the side with other housemates. I would say that I'm open to working with every single.
Let's talk Dede specifically.
Okay.
Yes.
She's cool. I'm cool with her. We're cool. Everybody's cool. Like, there are no. I believe that the show is over. It's game over. Like, we're back to reality.
Is there still going to be friendship? Are you still calling yourselves, checking up on each other, or is it just the show is over?
Honestly, Isabella, I'm cool with everybody. I'm cool with everybody in the house. I have an okay relationship with most people in the house. I'm cordial with everybody. I'm willing to work with everybody. And that's what I'm really focused on right now. The show is over. The dynamics has played its course.
So was it just for the cameras? Was it just the strategy? And now it's going to return to status quo?
Not necessarily. I was being myself for the most part on the show. I wanted to be me, and I'm happy that I was me. My feelings were my feelings, and it is what it is. But post-show, we've come out of the show, and right now, I need to put all that energy on me. I need to put I'm focused. That's the most important thing for me right now. Putting all the energy on me, focusing on me, and that's all that matters.
But I mean, as much as you're putting the energy on you, you're still going to have that strong relationship with your your sister. So that kind of friendship, are you going to still have that with other house members and not just say
Yes, of course. I'm going to have that with a lot of people in the house, and that's what I'm open to. I'm open to having a good relationship with a lot of people in the house. I believe that the world is a small place, and anything can, never say never. Anything can happen tomorrow. So I believe that right now, I think I'm just concerned about myself, concerned about my well-being, concerned about my happiness, and that's all that matters.
They say vision is 2020. With everything you've experienced, if you got a call back to go to the Big Brother house, would you go back? Would you do anything differently?
Good question, actually. I'll be open to doing it, but I would say that I'll still be me, and I think that's all that matters. The platform was a wonderful one. I'm grateful for the platform. Honestly, I feel like the platform it's something that is, they are very, 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 very intentional about certain things and how they go about things, and that's what I appreciate about this platform. So yes, I'm open to it. You never say never. So it's something I'm open to, but I will still be me, and I think that's the best strategy going on anytime. If I'm to go again and over, being me is all that matters.
And how have you dealt with the fame, the attraction, the attention, the requests, I'm sure the demands, now that you're a superstar, backup king?
I would say that for me, I'm not really fazed by all of this, because I think I know where I know where my mind is at. I know what I'm trying to achieve. I came on this show and I know what I wanted to gain out of this platform. So right now, all of those things are like the icing on the cake, but the cake itself, the ingredients of the cake itself is what I'm building, is what I'm turning and mixing together. So all of that comes with it, but that's not where my mind is at. I'm focused on how to ensure that I make sure this brand, Kola Omotoso, is a very notable brand, a brand that everyone wants to affiliate themselves with, and that's all that matters for me right now.
And well done.
Thank you so much.
Say. We wish you all the best.
Thank you so much, Isabella.
You're cacking up,
yes,
and all the dreams you have for the media and fashion and style.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Isabella. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. And that is where we will be wrapping up this edition of Rubbin Minds. My name is Isabella Adediji. Remember, you can follow the conversation online using the hashtag Rubbin Minds. Do have a great afternoon.